At just 2 years old, James Leininger began to scream in the night. Airplane crash. On fire. Little man can't get out. His parents thought it was just a phase. But then, James started naming planes he had never seen, describing battles he had never studied, and telling a story that seemed to come from another life. Welcome to Past Life Diaries, where we uncover the true stories that challenge what we think we know about memory and identity. James was a typical boy growing up in Louisiana, curious, playful, and obsessed with airplanes. But at night, something changed. He'd wake up crying and kicking, shouting things like, "Plane on fire. I can't get out. It crashed." His parents, Bruce and Andrea Leininger, were concerned, especially when James began drawing violent plane crashes over and over again. And then, naming names no one had taught him. He said he flew a Corsair. He flew off a ship called the Natoma. And he kept repeating a name, Jack Larson, saying he was there when I died. Narrator, Bruce, a deeply logical man, began digging for answers. And what he found shook him to his core. The USS Natoma Bay was real. It was a U.S. aircraft carrier that fought in World War II, specifically near Iwo Jima. There had been a pilot named James Huston Jr. His plane was shot down during a mission. It caught fire, and he crashed into the ocean, unable to escape. The only eyewitness to his death, a man named Jack Larson, the same name James had mentioned. At just 2 years old. Movie camera emoji, cut to black and white war footage, archival documents, plane schematics. Narrator, but James remembered more than just names. He knew that Corsairs often had issues with their tires. He described the type of plane his past self flew, down to cockpit details. He even identified where on the ship the aircraft launched from. James claimed he was shot in the engine, and when Bruce reviewed the records, it was true. James Huston Jr.'s plane was hit by enemy fire in the engine before crashing. Musical note emoji, shift to somber music, emotional piano. When James was 6, the Leiningers met Ann Barron, the surviving sister of James Huston Jr. As they entered the room, James said something that froze her. He called her Annie, a name only her brother had used. Then he said, "I'm sorry I couldn't say goodbye," and burst into tears. Dr. Jim Tucker, a child psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, has studied over 2,500 cases of children with past life memories. But James' case stands out. It wasn't just what James said. It was what could be verified. Real ships. Real pilots. Real history. And a child who knew it all, before he could even read. Eventually, the memories began to fade. James grew up, went to school, and moved on with his life. But for several years, it seemed, he lived 2 lives at once. One as a modern-day boy in Louisiana. The other, as a fallen fighter pilot from World War II. So what do you think? Was James truly remembering a past life? Or was it all a coincidence too precise to ignore? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you love stories that challenge reality, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss next week's case. You've been watching Past Life Diaries. Until next time.